All right. Chase Burnett, entrepreneur, owner of two businesses in which we're both part owners in.
That's what they say.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the second season of the Orange Slice podcast. It's about time, probably, huh?
Yeah, my first podcast. Well, that's not true. Actually, I did a podcasting class in college.
Oh.
So I interviewed Jesse, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So.
And was it kind of set up like this, or was it totally different?
No, it was he and I in his room, and I had like my younger sister had a Barbie microphone with a speaker. I was getting scrappy. I was like, oh, I don't have like recording equipment. And then I was like
a pink Barbie mic?
Oh, yeah. And it was actually the best audio out of all the devices we had.
Really?
Yeah. We had 3 or 4 like backup. I was like, I need a backup on a backup. And
shoot, that Barbie mic. I wish there was pictures of that we could see. Maybe we'll dig one up and add it to the.
I think my sister still has it. So
okay,
I might bring it in the office. So we could use it for another podcast.
I can picture this mic because I've definitely it's one of those things that you like when you're a kid. You're like, yeah, I'm a boy, but I'm gonna pick up this pink mic and sing into it because it's cool.
Yeah, she used to do performances with it, and I was like, I need some kind of recording device. I'm like, I wonder if that would work. It actually worked really well.
So that was at UAA.
That was at UAA. Yeah, that was one of my classes through my journalism program. So that was my degree at UAA was journalism and public communications or strategic communications.
Yep. And then, we've told the story before, and I think people probably want to hear it. I've told it before. You've obviously, we both know the story of Orange Slice and how we started, but maybe you could talk a little bit about like sort of how you and I met and how that, everything kind of went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I won't go back too far.
Yeah.
But I think the most relevant is probably starting in college. So I graduated from high school in South Korea, actually, and then moved back to Alaska. I grew up in Fairbanks, but moved back to Alaska for college because my sister was here, my older sister. And initially, I wanted to be a physical therapist. So that was my first. I was like,
I can see that.
I'm going to be a physical therapist.
I can see that.
I was really into fitness.
Hey, second career possibility.
Maybe. I've still got time.
Yeah.
But so did about a year, I think it was. And UAA had just started a physical therapy program, actually. And it was the first year they were doing it. I applied. I did a bunch of shadowing on base, on JBear. And they were only taking 12 people. So I didn't make the cut initially. And they're like, well, you could wait around for a year and then try to reapply. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So natural progression, I chose construction management.
Oh, yeah.
Because
so
that's
if you get fixed people, you can at least fix a building or build a building.
And did about a semester or 2 and just absolutely hated it.
I bet.
It was just not what I was supposed to be doing.
Was it not your people too? Like in the classes,
very
you're like
different. Yeah.
These guys are construction guys.
Yeah. Which was fine, but it was just hours on a computer and
drafting and stuff like that.
Estimating. And it just wasn't really getting me going. So, I saw a job opening at the Northern Light, which is the newspaper on campus, and got a job as a features editor. So it was basically like go out and do the fun stuff.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Go take photos, like
the squirrel on water skis guy. It's like, we got a guy who has, that guy's got a squirrel he can put on water skis.
Exactly. Yeah. So worked for a semester there during the journalism program about the same time, and I was like, this is it. Like this is
storytelling.
Clicked right away. I was like, this is really what I want to be doing. So went through the journalism program, and then met you.
Wait, when did you pick up a camera though? That's, I think, an important part of this.
Oh, so
was it about the same time? You kind of were like, hey, I got to take pictures too.
No, it was a little bit earlier. So when I first moved back to Alaska for college, so I graduated high school in 2014, moved back, and I wasn't really into like camping and hiking before I moved back. I did a little bit when I was younger, but I really just like picked it up, and I'm like, wow, I'm in this such a beautiful place. Like I need to be documenting it and telling stories or documenting stories and just documenting what I was doing. So that's really when I started picking up photography seriously. I had a friend in South Korea who he was a great photographer, and he really inspired me to pick it up when I moved back. So
Cool. Yeah, now
um,
you're crushing it. I mean, your Instagram, obviously, I talk about it a lot. I brag for you all the time, but you got like 50,000
like
followers.
50 something, yeah.
What's your handle there? We'll add that to the
It's
notes.
at Chase Burnett _
Yeah, people can check out those photos.
Yeah, so I've had a really fun time with photography, and I've grown a lot in the last, 8 9 years of doing it. And yeah, so through the journalism program, we actually did a tour of Colati Brothers, where I met you,
Mhm. Where I was
and
marketing director.
you were the marketing director, and I was getting ready to graduate, so I was on track to graduate December of 2019. And so I think it was about a semester before that when we did the tour. And I was like, oh, this seems like a cool place to work. I'd kind of known Wongy a little bit through Instagram and kind of seen what he was doing. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. So yeah, I walk up to you and I'm like, hey, this is me. Like, is there, can we talk about potential, what you guys have going on, or just
Yeah.
see what you guys are
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. I remember it vividly. I think for those out there, people who are wondering like how to get the job they want or how to get things going, it's like get the guts up to go and talk to the person that is the decision maker or the person that can get you close to that what you want to do. And I think you did that. And I think a lot of people just don't take that first step. And I'll let you continue, but this is like the precipice, I guess, if that's the correct word, of like how we progress to where we are today.
Definitely. And I think, yeah, I definitely second that with the sentiment of, if you think you're interested in something, just go up and talk to somebody. I learned that from my dad. He's like, you just need to put yourself out there. It's like, he was like, 90% of life is just showing up. And so
Absolutely. It's
if you just
easier than you think too. It's more because you're inside your own head, like, oh, is it going to be uncomfortable? Is it? Yeah, it probably is going to be a little uncomfortable, but honestly, that's where we find growth is in those uncomfortable situations. So
definitely,
yeah, that was a big deal.
yeah, so we met, talked a little bit, and I know at the time you guys were kind of a full staff. You
Yeah,
had
we
just hired a couple
you
people.
came back and I interviewed you,
Yeah, for about
and
2 hours, I think we
yeah, we
talked.
talked for about 2 hours.
Mhm.
I loved everything you did, the storytelling, the photos, everything was great. But I had we had just hired somebody on the team, and yeah, I just didn't have room at the moment. But go
Yeah.
ahead, yeah.
Um, yeah, so like I said, I was on track to graduate 2019 in December, and I think I was the one of the last graduating classes in person up until recently because of COVID. So then along came COVID. So
What's that?
I don't know.
Never heard of
I
it.
don't want to. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, graduated in December of 2019, kind of like right into COVID, and I was applying to hundreds of
Yeah,
positions, like
you literally
literally hundreds of
hundreds.
positions.
Yeah,
I was
all
like,
over the country, right?
yeah, I was even looking out of state. I
Yeah.
was like, I did a few interviews up here, and I won't name names, but just it was very discouraging because it was like I'd go through an interview process. I'd be like, hey, I have this experience. I've got this degree.
Yeah.
Like, what
Done the work.
can we what does it look like? And they're like, well, we want to hire you, but COVID. And
Yeah.
that was kind of the excuse
Universal
or the reason,
excuse. Yeah.
whatever that meant to the business. And then or they would come back with an offer of $14 an hour, and
Low
I'm like,
ball.
why did I even, I've got this
Yeah.
degree, like this is supposed to be, and I'm sure that's what a lot of people face after they graduate college, is like, oh, I thought, like, because that's what we're told, it's like, get your degree,
Isn't
and
that the
then
problem with
mhm,
like the education system as it is? It's like, oh, I did all this work. Now I should come out and get a job paying 75K a
mhm.
year. And it's like, nope, you still got to start somewhere. So
Definitely. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was applying to hundreds of positions. Nothing was really taking. I actually interviewed at a place in Utah. It was like a ranch or like event venue space. And
oh, interesting.
did like a digital interview, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not going with you. And then I think I got a call from you or an
I think
email.
I know I texted you because
Okay.
I remember like, oh, I just popped in my brain like, I'm going to start this business, I need a partner that's in it with me. And yeah, I was like, I wonder what Chase is doing. And
Yeah, I
I
remember.
had I'm like, I wonder if I still have my phone. And I did.
Yeah, I remember you texting me and you're like, hey, did you find a job yet? And I'm like, nope. And you're like, you want to talk about potentially doing something? I'm like, definitely. And I remember that vividly, meeting in
On the
at the
park
park
strip.
strip
Yep.
on like a very sunny, warm day. we were just sitting on the bench talking, and I was like, I have no idea what this is gonna like turn into.
Neither did I.
But I was like, this is like, there's an opportunity here, and I was like, there's no like nothing else is going on, so
Yeah.
I was like, I just need to, let's try it and see.
Yeah. And
see
I was
what
like, I can't
happens.
afford to pay you. So you just want to come on and be a partner?
And I was like, sure. I was like, that sounds great. But yeah, so that's kind of how it started, and
Yeah.
then we've definitely grown a lot in the last 4 years or so.
Yeah. That was 2020, 2020, June 8th, 9th.
June 8th.
Yeah. As
Hmm.
we started the business officially.
Yeah, and then I remember when we were first getting started, working out of your house, working out of Steam Dot coffee shops,
Yep.
just anywhere we could do it. Midtown Mall. I
Yep.
remember sitting in there, and
Yep.
but
And now we're, in a beautiful office in Midtown Anchorage with, 6 employees
mhm,
and a bunch of great clients. And yeah, I think, it's a testament to you. You're so young, I think, and it's hard for young people, I think, to see what it is like to get to this point, like what
mhm.
to do or how to handle. And I just think for listeners out there who are listening, that are in this like 20 to 30-year-old potentially range and still trying to figure out what they want to do, what kind of advice, I guess, would you give them, on how to get sort of going with something that you really feel passionate about, or some business you want to start?
I think the biggest thing is just keep trying. I mean, during COVID, when I was trying to apply to places and nothing was working, I took that time to. I learned Adobe Illustrator a little bit because I'm like, hey, let me like build up my skill set so that if this degree isn't like pushing me ahead to the top of the list, like maybe if my photography will help, these skills in graphic design, maybe that'll help. And so I was just like, what can I do to kind of try to set myself apart? And then with that, like we started, is just walk up and talk to people. Like if you think you can offer something to somebody, and everybody can, I think it's important to just walk up and be like, just introduce yourself. It's like, hey, this is me. Here's my skill set. This is what I'm interested in.
Yep.
And there's always opportunity that you'll find.
That's great advice, because I think we've had young people come to us. I want to be in marketing,
Mm-hmm.
is what they say, or I want to be a marketer, or whatever. And I'm like, all right, what are your skills in? Like, what do you want to do? And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I want to build websites and I want to do graphic design. And I'm like, all right, so you could do that without
Mm-hmm.
working for a marketing company. Like, that's what people should be doing who are interested in this industry, is actually getting those skills. Like, if you want to build a website, or if you want to be a website builder and say that's like a part of your skill set, go on to, Squarespace and go build a website.
Well, and I think that contributed to our success early on is that it was obviously a team effort, but I had done a lot of this. When we first started, it was a lot of content development, a lot of photos, a lot of website building, and I had done all those things on my own, either for my own website or through the newspaper at the school, or just through personal projects. And so I had that skill set of like, it didn't really, I didn't learn all those things in school. I didn't learn websites in school. I didn't learn photography in school. Those were just some things that I was interested in, and I took the time to learn. I used Squarespace. I'm like, oh, this is pretty simple. I can do this, and just building on it from there. And so, yeah, coming in with a skill set, or it's like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. It's like, well, have you taken some time to try to do that? Because there's all these opportunities, especially for digital marketing or graphic design or
Yeah.
photography. It's like you can learn on YouTube. You can like refine your skill set before you even step into an interview or even talk to somebody about a job.
Yes, you're truly a jack of all trades, I think, in my opinion. And the fact that you have gone and done the work to develop these skills, I think, has helped you have confidence in things, taking on more new things, and like figuring shit out, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's a lot of what we do, is like, hey, here's what the client wants. It's got these things, like, we haven't done this before, but we
Hmm.
can figure it out.
Yeah,
And I think,
I think one of the most valuable skill sets is the like problem solving mindset of like, okay, maybe I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to do what I can to find somebody who can do it, or I'm going to learn from somebody, or I'm just going to just figure out how to do it. And I know that sounds, I don't want to sound reductive, but it's just like that's what you have to do. It's like that's the most valuable skill set that you can come into any kind of position in. It's like, hey, I'm going to figure it out. Like,
yes,
I'll find
being
a way to do it.
resourceful, and we talked about like, having this like really robust sort of recruitment process for our own business, and having that process identify people who have the skills to figure shit out, and aren't afraid to take things on that they're maybe not super familiar with on the creative side and on the technical side. Because in this industry, there's so much of that crossover. Like, you have to be very like right brain, left brain, like all the time, going back and forth.
Well, and especially in this industry, it's like now as a business owner, if somebody walked into our office and was like, "Hey, I have this really great degree from this school," I'd be like, "That's great, but what can you do? What have you already done? What projects have you worked on? What skill sets do you have?" It's like, and I think more and more people are realizing that it's like, yes, college and a university can be beneficial, and it can teach you things and give you structure. But if coming out of it, you need to have the skills to actually apply in your position or in an organization.
Yep, for sure, for sure. Yeah. So, you've done, we've done together so much since we started this business. We just brought on Valpak of Alaska. Do you want to talk a little bit about like what that business means and what it is?
Yeah. So we, for people that aren't familiar, Valpak is a national franchise. So Seth and I purchased the franchise for Alaska. So we own the rights to distribute and sell Valpak in the entire state of Alaska. And it's their core product is a blue envelope. People have probably seen it before with various coupons from local businesses, from national businesses. And we were already utilizing it for some of our clients with some really good success.
Yeah, direct mail in general, we've had a lot of success without, specifically Valpak, but just people have one mailbox, right? And everybody has multiple email inboxes, and everything's going to spam these days. And so all junk mail is kind of going to emails. And now people are only getting 3 to 5 pieces of mail a day. And with informed mail from USPS, people can see what's coming. Myself, I get excited when I see something coming in the mail, and I'm like, oh shit, that's coming, the Valpak's coming, or whatever it is. It's direct mail is not dead. I think a lot of people just assume like print's dead. I think it is one of the most powerful platforms that's underutilized these days.
Well, and that was one of the contributing factors for me in being like, yeah, that we should move into that is, I deleted Instagram recently, and I've been spending a lot less time on social media. And so now I'm not getting hit with ads. I'm not seeing, a lot of the stuff that's going on in the community, which is a negative, but I think it's outweighed by the positive of, the mental health and anxiety.
Yeah.
And not spending so much time.
We had this conversation yesterday. Yeah. Scrolling and then seeing, wars, across seas, whether it's Ukraine or
you're switching from
Israel.
Yeah. You're switching from like, okay, this is what's going on. This cool thing's happening in the community. And then the next post immediately is war and some very negative things.
Then you get a funny video and a booty shaking video. Then it's just like, it's too much for our brains.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to process all at once. And so, I'm really excited to have another avenue to communicate things to the public for businesses and organizations. That's not just, oh, here's another ad, here's another digital thing to look at.
Yep.
And like you said, people now don't get as many pieces of mail in their mailbox, and so
it's special.
Ideally, people would start to look at their mailbox as something that is useful and is exciting, that they're getting something that's of value to them in there.
Yes. I don't know how much more I got here. I think we, Chase and I spend a lot of time together, more so than probably anybody else in my life besides my wife. So yeah, we appreciate everybody listening. I think, it's Christmas time, and we just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Chase, thanks for coming on. Any last words for the audience?
No, I'm just excited for the next 4 years of Orange Slice.
Yeah,
excited
right.
To see where it goes.
Let's go. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.